Welcome back. So yeah, did a lot of wiring throughout the week. I'm gonna do that off camera just because it's gonna be really boring. I'm gonna just be cutting shit, extending shit, and rerouting wires. So that's that. I did get the ECU mounted up better. Clean up some of the wiring that I didn't need. I don't want to make my own wiring because I feel like that's already gonna be a different issue. But for now, I'm just gonna clean up what I have. I got a bunch of like wrap. That shit, the same shit I use on the FD. Different sizes. I started with the battery. I ran the battery wire, 0 gauge this time, and I used the old 2 gauge power wire as my ground now. Just like that. It'll be cleaned up a little bit better. It's just for testing purposes. Sheet metal's out. I'm gonna have someone. No, I'm gonna find someone that can weld me a template in here and just pretty much seal every hole in the car. But that'll be later on. For now, I just wanted to get the wiring done so I can test everything. And then we're gonna start doing some motor work. Just clean it up a little bit. Get the wheels faded up. I do need to get the lowers extended, lower control arms extended. Need to get tires for these things. I can have it on the ground. Fenders are gonna be on the way. I already got those orders. Some guy's helping me out with that. He's 4 to 6 week wait time. That's gonna hold us back a little bit, but it should be fine. So that's about it. I think we're going to start taking apart some of the front end part, dash bar, corner lights, grill. Need to rewire the headlights. Stuff like that, and then once the wiring is done, we're gonna start doing engine stuff, just touching it up, cleaning it up a little bit. Eventually I will pull it out, but that's later on. For now, the order we're gonna do stuff is in a wiring first, then we're going to motor work, clean up what I can with the motor still in it, test drive, wheels fitted. Hopefully by then the fenders will be here. And then once the wheels are fitted, we're gonna drive it to my parents' house, pull the motor out, send it to a body shop or a fabricator so you can seal all the holes, weld them all shut, like the trunk area and shit like that. There's a couple other holes that I want to weld shut. And then once he's done with it, paint, and then bring it back from paint, weld it at the fabricator shop / paint. Motor will be getting rebuilt or whatever. Touch it up, paint it a little bit, make it look nicer. Probably do just a stock rebuild, depending on what it looks like inside once I tear it apart. And then everything should line up by the time it's done painted. Bring it back, motor install, put everything back on, and then that's it. Like I said, it shouldn't take too long of a build, but it's gonna take some time to make it right. So just kind of a matter of just doing it a little bit at a time. Break it down into pieces so it doesn't seem like it's that much. All right, next weekend I think. Like I mentioned, I'm gonna be doing a lot of the wiring work off camera. So yeah, most of the wire is already kind of set up. I just gotta touch it up a little bit, and then the goal for today is kind of getting everything inside mocked up. I mean, just wiring wise, and then starting the car, moving it, pushing it outside. I mean, driving it outside. For two reasons. I need to check, make sure everything's working, make sure my lights are all working. The motor is still good. I didn't fuck up something with that. I doubt it. Should be fine. And then move it outside and then give this garage a good clean. Organize my tools again because I have shit everywhere. This is everything I've taken out so far, wiring wise, and there's a shit ton of like cut zip ties and small wiring shit I cut. So that's all over the place. So right now the only thing I have left to do is honestly I have to, so I don't know if you guys saw that old kind of ghetto cover I had right here. bolted up to here where the airbag would go. I made this other thing that's kind of a little less ghetto, but it works. So, you know, bolted up in the 4 spots that I cut out, folded it over to give it some rigidness. I don't know if that's the right word. So I was gonna bolt up there, and then all I gotta do now is cut something out. So this fuse box, these are all the fuses that I definitely need. They're like for a headlight, EGI, and some others. I forgot what the other one was, but I also need it. And I have a stock harness, so engine harness, so I'm gonna need all that shit still. But I want it easy to get to, so that's gonna mount up there. Once I cut this thing out, I can mount that there. My other fuse box is still in a stock location. And then once that's done, pretty much should be, for the most part, be done with the wiring. Some little touch-ups here and there, but there's that. I finished up the battery, so this is done back here now. I can show you guys this part for the battery. For the fuel pump. So I'm gonna cover this up. I need to cut this little wire section up with the loom, the wiring loom. But power wire goes through there. Bigger 0 gauge up to these fancy terminals I got. A quick release battery terminal, and then power for the Wabro fuel pump, and then the ground for the relay and the pump. And that's gonna be, you know, looking nicely. No more raggedy mess once this section is covered up. But I'm gonna finish up that bracket thing, clean it up a little bit, and start it and drive it outside, because I need to reorganize myself. Alright, so real quick, I just finished cutting up this plate up so I can mount the fuse box. That way, you know, the airbag cover, that's 14 guys know the airbag cover sits right here on the dash. You can pop that off and then be able to exit. These will be accessible. That was easy, you know. I mean, it took a while because I don't have the right tools here. All my tools are either at work or at my parents' house, and I literally made this with some zip tie cutters and some safety scissors. So yeah, that took a while, but it's done. I might put some Tesla tape on the edges just to reduce some vibration, maybe underneath it. But for now, that's gonna be it. So now I just want to show you guys that. You can obviously make it look better. You can use some fucking nice plate of steel or sheet metal or some shit. But this is good enough. I'm content with this. So then I'm just gonna power up, mount up my wiring, my power one, mount up the fuse box for the power, those two right there, and then the one from the engine bay, which I believe goes to the alternator. Mount it up, clean up inside here, and drive it outside. Hopefully it moves on its own and I didn't fuck something up, and then give this garage a good cleaning. Alright, small update. Fuse box got mounted up like I showed you guys. Battery, it just needs the cover, the tray for it, and then it'll be secured. Fuse box mounted up, it ain't going anywhere. Power wires ran to the fuse box and then to the alternator, to the battery, the other one. Radio installed, cluster installed, steering column bolted up, old S14 seat back in it just so I can move it. I'm literally going to just roll it, drive it outside and pull it back in. I'm going to let it idle for a little bit, maybe warm up, and then pull it back in. I just want to make sure everything's working, nothing catches on fire, because that's always a possibility when you're doing wiring work. Just if the engine sounds good, then it's probably going to be, I didn't fuck anything up. If all my lights work, then I'll probably be good. So I'm going to do, first thing I'm going to do is power it up, do a light check on my basics that I need, and then turn it on, drive it outside, and then clean up this garage a little bit, like I said. So I'm going to do a quick light check, and then we'll go from there. We got the 350Zs and the Cobra wheels up front. Temporary setup. It is going to rub on the harness, but This is just for testing demonstrations. I'm just gonna fucking, like I said, I'm literally gonna go 10 feet. Alright, so I think last time I did a light check. Everything worked good except my windows. So I just figured I'd just let you guys know. Windows stopped working. Everything else worked. So it's obvious that it was something that I did, and I must have I cut the green wire to the window relay on this one. There was a green wire that I cut. I must have cut it when I deleted the fog light. The rear window defogger circuit. I cleared out all these wires, and I must have cut it because it's spliced up here. So I just cut it by accident. But quick look at the wiring diagram, and that was it. Just figured out, just, you know, shit happens. So just point that out too. Easy fix. It didn't take me that long. Once I found the wiring diagram, pretty straightforward. And that's one thing you guys teach yourself. It's how to read a wiring diagram. Saved my ass so many times. But yeah, so now everything works now. Just wanted to let you guys know about that because shit happens. Alright, we got the 240 outside, looking mad dusty. 17's up front, I barely fucking clear. Got the Z's in the rear. It started fine. I figured there was really no reason for it not to start up unless I really fuck a wired up. So one of the wiring up, yeah, started up fine, idled fine. Got a fuel leak from the octa regulator. So that's engine bay is next. Interior wiring is done. It's mostly loomed up nicely. I cut the wires that I need to. Covered what I need to, extended what I needed to, deleted what I didn't need. So now I'm just gonna route it nicely, and I'll be done for the interior wise. Everything works wiring wise. Next I just gotta wire up the gauges, and that should be it. Next we're gonna be tackling the bay. Fans, might get rid of them, either go smaller ones or just go back to the clutch fan for simplicity. Clean this bay up, re-weld some of this piping like that one so it doesn't look all ghetto like that on the upper radiator hose. This intake coupler right here is fucking melting because that's AutoZone plastic one, so I need to get that redone in aluminum. Simple shit. And then that should be it. Take the lower control arms, extend them. I'm gonna need to be running big camber for the rear, for the front, and then hopefully I have enough adjustment for the rear. But yeah, engine bay shit's next. I gotta clean up this fucking mess over here. This is all I ended up deleting. Just get rid of remove the big power gauge. That's obviously just spare from what I bought. Everything else is wire that I deleted, and there's shit everywhere. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the garage real quick, and then make some room in here and pull it back inside and start getting to work on the engine bay.